Hi there again, everybody. Boyd here with you, and welcome back. Well, we left off last time where we were working on our client Robert's custom 1/350 scale Enterprise, and we told you we were going to come back and show it to you when it was all done. So here we are today, guys. A few more hours at the bench and a lot of fun, and it's all wrapped up. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm getting ready to box it up and get it on its way to Robert, so we thought we'd show it to you before we do that. Had a lot of fun working on this one. You can see it's definitely unique. Robert had a vision that he had of how he wanted his ship to look, so we were happy to carry that out for him. You can see we did all the Aztec paneling, which you don't normally see on the classic Enterprise, but I think it looks really fantastic. This set of masks is available from Orbital Dry Dock, the same company that makes the masks for the Enterprise refit and several other sci-fi model kits that are out there. And I'm happy to say that these work flawlessly like usual. I really enjoy working with them. It's a nice system. You've got the tape transfer method, which allows you to do large sections at a time. Even though we have that capability with it, it still took me several hundred hours to do these. You can see they're all over the ship. But since the last time I went in and did all the Aztecs on the nacelles and the pylons, the only thing I'm going to mention about this masking set is that it's not very clear in the instructions where the actual patterns go on the pylons and nacelles. You can kind of figure it out on the secondary hull because the shapes are there, and the saucer is fairly straightforward because you have just the basic pie wedges and you just work your way around. You got to make sure you have the top and the bottom in the right way, but other than that, so if you're going to try these, I've worked with these several times, so I'm getting kind of used to it and I figured it out, but if you're going to try these for the first time, I recommend that you maybe contact Orbital Dry Dock, and I'm sure they can set you in the right direction, maybe give you some better pictures, or maybe guide you through it a little bit. So I'm sure they'll be glad to help you out with that. But as you can see, it turned out really wonderful. I'm really happy with it. It looks really, really cool. It adds a lot of detail to the model. Robert had several ideas as far as wanting to do the Aztecs. He also wanted some custom lighting done on this, so I'm going to basically start off at the front and work my way back and talk about what we did extra for this on this ship for him. You can see that at the front here what we did is Robert wanted to have the floodlight effect lighting up the name and the registry number here like you see on the Enterprise refit. So in order to do that, I mounted a couple of 08, 05 SMDs. These are miniature surface mounted diodes for those of you who might be new to that. They're not typical LEDs. They're basically quite a bit brighter than a regular LED because they don't have a lens over the top. It's just a completely exposed miniature diode that lights up, so you get a really nice strong effect. And I had to kind of play around with the mounting of those on the inside of the BC deck here to get them aimed right where we would get a nice effect here. And I didn't want to punch an extra hole in this. I wanted to try to use some existing windows, and it worked out really, really nice, so I'm happy with that. And I think Robert's going to be really pleased with that. And then also moving back here, he wanted to have these little marker lights lit up on the top of our Bassards, and we did that for him. We've got our our green and our red going on, and then he also wanted to have these extra strobe lights that you can see going on at the back of the nacelles, kind of a la the Enterprise refit, and I really like how that turned out too. And then we lit these chiller grills for him, and I used the stock kit supplied parts, which are not transparent, but just with a little bit of sanding work and making them a little bit thinner on the back side, I was able to bring the light through those pretty good. We just used some regular LED strip tape lighting in there in blue to light these up. They're looking a little bit washed out as they usually do on a video camera, but in person we're getting a really nice deep neon blue look with these. They look really gorgeous, and you can see, I'll just kind of go over the patterns that we have here on the nacelles. I really like how this turned out, and along the side here, and then we'll get you down on the bottom here a little bit, and you can see that. Really think that looks nice. And then you also have the patterns here on the pylons. This is very similar to the Enterprise refit, where you got that really cool looking sort of thunderbolt pattern there. Really nice. And then you can see here that we did another modification for Robert where we've got the windows lit in the pylon there. He wanted to have that specifically done. I hadn't done that on one of these builds before, so another couple of 0805 SMDs in there. We'll spin this around, and you can see that per his request, he wanted it to look different on each side. So we've got the bottom one lit on this side and the top one there. and that worked out really well. And you can see we've got more of our patterns going on the secondary hull here and the saucer. We've got all of our markings in place now, and got all our little small detail parts put on. Give you a look at the belly here. Another modification we did for Robert. He wanted the strobe light on the belly like we see on the refit, so that was a what they call a lighthouse LED, which has a little extended tip on it. I just drilled a small hole and mounted that in there and wired it up to our system. That worked out nice. Same thing we did here, the lighthouse LEDs on the back of the nacelles to give us our strobes there. Rather than having a fiber optic coming out of there, you get direct lighting, which looks a lot more crisp, and it gives you a nice, you can see it very clearly from all directions. So I prefer to use those whenever I can. And here we have our impulse engines with the grills in place there. We've got the bridge all lit up like usual with our crew figures in there. Here's our shuttle bay. You can probably see it a little bit more clear this time without that glaring coming off the fan tail before we had that painted. We've got our approach lights there. We've got the forward windows of the Galileo shuttlecraft itself lit up. We've got our windows inside the shuttle bay, the observation deck and all that. Really cool. And our patterns and our markings here on the bottom. So I'm really happy with that. And I'm just trying to think if I missed anything. I think that's about it, guys, but it turned out really, really nice. Like I said, I'm really pleased. One thing I didn't mention about the saucer also is that Robert requested that we got rid of the grid lines in this. You guys that are familiar with this kit know that this particular model comes with some fairly deep grid lines that are molded into the saucer. Now, Polar Lights is reintroducing this kit, and it's been changed now to a smooth saucer top and bottom, and I think that's going to be a lot nicer. That's more accurate to the original filming model. You're going to have to, if you want the grid lines now, you're going to have to paint them on, so hopefully there'll be a template or something available for that, but I think it looks a lot nicer without those deep trenches, in the saucer and on the sides. We also smoothed it out all the way around the perimeter of the edge of the saucer here and completely on the bottom. The only problem with that is when you do that, you don't have any reference points for where you line everything up, but I was able to work my way through that. I took careful measurements, and I started off with my center line here at the front and worked my way to the center when I started my masking pattern, so it all worked out really nice. And then I used reference pictures for where the all the markings and everything go, so it all worked out great. You can see we added our duck egg blue there on the front edge of the neck, and she came out beautiful. Now, on this particular model, when I got done with everything and I wanted to seal it up, instead of using my Tester's dull coat, I tried this all-clad flat, and I must say I'm really, really pleased with it. I think I'm going to be using it from now on. It covered really well. It sort of soaked into the decals really nice, and it got rid of all the silvering on the decals, so it made them lay down nice and flat. It dried really fast. It dries really smooth, and I'm able to use it in my airbrush, so I get a lot more control with it, so I'm very, very pleased with that. It's around, let me see, what did I pay for this? $9 for this bottle, so you can see that much out of the use of it. I got covered the entire model with my airbrush, so that's going to allow me to do several models with this one bottle, so that's a good deal versus the Tester's can that basically here would only do one model for me, and it's like, I don't remember what the cost is, but I think it's around $8 per can. It's like 3 ounces, so I think this is going to be a better way to go. Just thought I'd pass that on to you guys, but we've got our little marker lights here on the spine. We've got our little dome there. We've got our little panels and everything. So once you add all the details onto this thing, it really turns out to be a beautiful model, and I'm really, really pleased with it, and I think Robert's really going to like it. He's waited a long time for it, so really happy to get it finished up for him. And I just wanted to say the Aztec work on this put me behind on my build schedule a little bit. So again, thanks for all the clients out there for being patient. We're back on track. We're working really hard to get caught up, so it won't be long, guys. You'll be getting your models, and we appreciate you hanging in there. And we really appreciate all the continued work that's coming in. We're really, really getting busy here, guys. I keep getting more and more requests, so I can't say again. I hate to keep harping on it, but I really appreciate the opportunity and the confidence that you have in my work. We try to do the best we can on each one. We're getting better and better and better as we go, learning, and we try our best every time. So I've just got this mounted on a basic base. Robert's going to mount this on a custom base. He's going to have his 5-button sound effect and his light up photon and phaser effect there on the planetary sensor. So he's having the base made by Jerry and Dave at Wolf Base. So hopefully when he gets it all put together, I'm going to walk him through doing the wiring. I've got everything labeled here for him. But once we get that all put together, hopefully we'll get a nice video or some pictures from Robert of this when it's all together, and I'll share those with you guys a little bit later. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the look at the completed model. A lot of work, a lot of time, but I really enjoyed the nice little kind of change of pace on this one, something unique. And Robert's got his own vision of his ship, and I think that's really cool, and I'm really glad that I was given the opportunity to make somebody's dreams come true again. So it's a lot of fun for me to do that. Okay, guys, we're going to call this a wrap. I'll be back probably about midweek next week with an update on the community builds that I'm taking part of. We've got the cancer awareness build. We've got the Tom Daniel build, so I'm starting to work on those. And then on Sunday, December 4th, we're going to be back with a new season of the Model Shop. Can't wait to get caught up with you guys and start some new projects and get back in the chat and have a lot of fun again. Had a nice little break here, so it's been a lot of fun. We're a day before Thanksgiving, so I'm going to take this opportunity to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving out there. I hope you guys get to enjoy some family time, some good food, maybe some football, and a nice turkey nap, and a lot of good stuff, guys. We're coming up on the new year. A lot of exciting stuff we're going to be working on here over the winter in the shop, so we appreciate you guys checking us out and all the support we've had now for all these years. It's been a blast. You guys take care. We're going to call this one a wrap then. We'll see you all a little bit later. Until we do, happy modeling, guys.